is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Q&A with the Real Trucker Couple, where we try to answer questions people may ask us about Expedite, about how we live out here on the road, as well as any questions you may have about our fleet owner, Highfield Trucking. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Helps us out a lot. We like to share our life out here on the road, and many people are very curious about Expedite. And one of the things that a lot of people do is they ask a lot of questions. So I try to answer them in video form. That way, we're not constantly answering the same question over and over again. So right now we are leaving New Mexico. We're on our way to Laredo, Texas to pick up a load. We had a kind of eventful week this week. We had one of those things happen type weeks where somebody just tried to off themselves merging next to us on the on-ramp. People, if you are within the sound of my voice, when you come onto the ramp, you either are supposed to speed up to the flow of the traffic or slow down so that you can safely merge. You just don't come out and ride beside somebody, especially a truck. Get it together. And especially in a construction zone where it said people coming on has to yield. If there's a space for you to get in, okay, get in. But if there's no space, don't try to rush behind the person that got in front of a truck, and then you try to rush and get in, you're going to run into the little orange cone things that's on the road. So please, be more mindful of that and careful. Okay, so like I was saying, we had a kind of eventful week. We just almost had an event right there. But one of those things happened weeks where we had a couple of really nice loads, and then we had a really nice load cancel on us, and turned around and had the very next load cancel on us. So they got us a load down, picking up in Laredo on tomorrow and delivering Monday. So to these questions, shall we? This is a question that we've gotten on a couple of different accounts. This person asks, how do we like living in our truck, and is it hard? So to answer that question, we love living in our truck. We absolutely love it. Especially when you got, all of the, not all of, but the majority of the necessities that you need. I mean, we have a small kitchen, we have a dining area, we have a bed to sleep in, and we have a shower and a bathroom. Before we even had the shower and the bathroom, we made it work because you always had a truck stop that you could shower at, and you always had rest areas and truck stops you can stop and use the bathroom in. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Emergency purposes only. We try our best to use it only when we absolutely have to. But otherwise, we drive as if we don't have it. But it comes in handy when we find ourselves in places where there's no way to take a shower and there's no way to use the bathroom. Is it hard? That would depend on somebody's situation. We're used to it. When we first started driving, almost 20 years ago in Expedite, we lived in our truck full time, and we didn't even have the condo style sleeper. We had a standard, what was that? We had a Freightliner Essential with a standard sleeper in it. Granted, it was they had the tore the inside out, and it was completely custom. We had a queen size bed, we had a microwave, we had 2 refrigerators, we had a TV, like a 24-inch TV, you know, up in the ceiling part. But we lived in it full time, and we figured out how to make it work, and it's kind of what we've done. We have had a couple of apartments over the years, but we found it very, very inefficient. The apartments, they were liabilities, because we were barely there, and we were spending $1,500, $2,000 a month in rent, only to be staying there maybe 3 months out of the year. So, you know, for what we do and how much we love being out here on the road doing this adventure, we found it is more cost effective to simply live in our truck full time. So everybody's financial needs aren't the same. Some people have mortgages and they can't just live in their truck on the road, full time. So there are plenty of people who make it out here without living in their truck full time. It just works out best for some of us, and it's just my observation. This is not a stone fact. The majority of the people who absolutely love this lifestyle and they understand it, the majority of us live in our trucks full time. So the next question. I'm kind of browsing through questions. I have a lot of them. Kind of taking some extremely relevant ones. What is the difference between a fleet owner and a company? So, actually, I'm not going to answer that one. I'm going to answer the one underneath it, because the one underneath it is going to fall into that question. The one underneath it says, when I come on board, what is the difference between a company driver and working for Hi-Fi? Okay, so to clarify that off the jump, you are not working directly for the fleet owner. You are an independent contractor with the fleet owner. And there is a huge difference in being an independent contractor and being a company driver or employee. So I'm going to start with the onboarding process. So there are typically 3 ways people come into Expedite. And those 3 ways are, the first way, you're going to come in as an owner-operator. There's no mistaking. An owner-operator, you get 100% of what the truck makes. You are on a 1099 through the carrier, and you got to pay your own taxes, get your own health insurance, etc., etc. And you pay for fuel and maintenance and everything on your truck. There's no mistaking being a owner-operator. The second way most people come into Expedite is as a company driver, and you reach out to the carrier, and if they have company positions open, you do an application. You get an interview, you get hired, and you either get paid cent per mile, or you get paid a guaranteed weekly amount, or cent per mile, or both. Going past the cow farm. It stink out there. But they take taxes directly out of your check. You get FICA, Social Security and stuff taken out of your check. They may or may not provide health insurance and benefits, etc., and various other things. You're on a W-2? Yeah, you get a W-2. So that's kind of the employee route. And then the most common way that most people come into Expedite is via a fleet owner, wherein you're an independent contractor. Process for the onboarding is pretty much the same. You reach out to either the fleet owner or you reach out to the carrier, and you're going to do an application with the carrier to become qualified to be an independent contractor. And then once you become qualified, then they will either introduce you to a fleet owner, or if you've already contacted the fleet owner, you will go through the process with getting a truck, with leasing a truck through the fleet owner. So in a nutshell, with a fleet owner, you are leasing the truck from the fleet owner. The fleet owner does not employ you. The carrier does not employ you. You are essentially in business for yourself, meaning you are going to get a 1099. You have to pay your own taxes. You have to find your own health insurance. There is no additional training or anything. It is presumed that when you're doing the onboarding process, you already know what you're doing. You've already done your due diligence on the business that you're coming in, and you know how to make money in the industry that you're coming into. So people, please do your homework. Just don't watch us on TikTok and decide this is what you want to do. Ask questions. Call the carrier. Ask questions. Call the fleet owner. Ask questions. Ask us questions. Ask other people questions. Google Expedite. Learn the origin of Expedite. Learn how Expedite moves. Do your due diligence, because if you don't, you're going to wind up in that boat where a lot of people come into Expedite not knowing exactly what they're getting themselves into, which is what we see day to day in this industry. So in saying that, the main thing that we're seeing is a lot of people are watching teams like us and Nick and Carla and Luke Shaw Expediting and anybody else who does expediting, Truck and Travel YouTube, anybody else, and they come to the decision that they want to do this, and then they come into it and they haven't done their research, and they think it's going to move the same way that what they're used to doing moves, and it doesn't. And then they also have a bit of an expectation that once they come on board, that either the carrier is going to train them or the fleet owner is going to train them. This is where the mentor program comes into play with Highfield. They have jumped through a lot of hoops in order to make the mentor program a thing, wherein you come into this industry and you're not knowing what's going on, and they pair you with individuals like my wife and I, who have been doing this a very long time, and we're successful at it, and we pretty much know what we're doing. So they put teams with us, and we show them the ins and outs, what to do, what not to do, where you want to be, where you don't want to be, what to ask for, what not to ask for, etc., etc. Whereas if you come in and you just go about it on your own, which in most cases, if you go to any other fleet owner, they don't have this program. They're not going to tell you what to do, how to do it, etc., etc., because legally they cannot. And this is why you don't get any training, you don't get any this and that from other fleet owners, etc., because they know that legally they cannot do this. Once they do this, they become your employer, and then you fall into a whole nother tax bracket, and then they can actually get in a lot of trouble for doing things like that. So when it comes to the mentor program, it is one of the most beneficial things that I have seen offered in this industry. And those who may think they don't need it, trust me, you need it. If you're coming from driving a flatbed for 15 years, you've never done expedite, you're not going to have a lot of success at it, because quite frankly, you're gonna attack it the way that you're used to attacking trucking or flatbedding, and it's not going to work out the way you think it is. So what we're seeing a lot of people doing out here is they are essentially doing this. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm looking at TikTok, YouTube, and I'm seeing a lot of people making money with box trucks. And all of these people are having fun, they're making money, and I'm seeing it. And I might hit a couple of people up and ask a couple of questions. And then, I say, you know what, I'm going to go lease a box truck from, Ryder or Penske or Enterprise or, whoever rents box trucks. And I go and rent this box truck, and I go into the, let's say I go to Penske, and I go into Penske and I say, yeah, I want to lease a box truck. And they say, okay, they run all my stuff, everything's all good. They draw up the contract, I sign the contract, we shake hands, and then now I'm looking at Penske saying, okay, what do I do next? How do I go out and make this money? And Penske is going to look at me like I'm crazy. We don't know. You the one wanted to lease the truck. So, good luck with that. And unfortunately, that is the situation that we're seeing, what we're seeing a lot of people are doing. They're coming to these expedite companies, these expedite fleet owners, and they're leasing on, and they don't know what they're doing, and then they're expecting the fleet owner to give them all of this support and all of this training, and again, they legally cannot do it. So now I'm going to go into that first question. What's the difference between the fleet owner and the carrier? The carrier is who essentially has the DOT numbers, the insurances, and all of that good stuff, and they are the ones that secure and book the loads for the trucks. That is essentially their main job. Maintain all of the permits, etc., etc. The fleet owner, their main job is to maintain the equipment, secure the contracts with whatever carrier they have their trucks leased onto, which gets the trucks paid. Pay for the fuel, pay for any maintenance, etc., etc. That is essentially the only job of the fleet owner, to lease the truck to the independent contractor. Unfortunately, it is not their job to do anything else, because legally they are legally binded by what they can and cannot do. So please don't think it as you go to a fleet owner and they're not giving you any support. They support you no matter what fleet owner it is. They support you as best as they possibly can without breaking the law. So that is the difference between a fleet owner and a a carrier, and that is the difference between an independent contractor and a company driver. Now, I didn't expect to go that long, so I was going to answer a couple of more, but I'll answer a few more on a later video. So if you have any questions, comments, again, feel free to leave them in the comments. Be sure to like the video, share it, subscribe to our page. We do this for the love of it. We don't do it for the money. We do it for the adventure. And if you want to join a similar adventure where you drive around the country and get paid and make a little money doing so and having fun and seeing things, leave a comment below. As always, thank y'all once again, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.